Can you guys test in Utah?
So even though you had COVID and everything, you still want us to test?
Of course, he wants them to test. Just another excuse to not see his kids and to make things complicated. Hey guys, welcome to Happily Ever Reality. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about that last episode we watched, and I'm going to be talking about some comments that you made on my channel about the season 18 episode 1 premiere. What I want to talk about first is that scene of Kody and Christine sitting at the restaurant together. I was really surprised to hear him ask her about getting tested. I was trying to put the timeline in my head. I'm assuming we are watching this about, 9 months after it occurred, or maybe 10 months. So this would be Thanksgiving of last year. So Thanksgiving 2022. I know that everyone handles COVID different, and I'm sure some of it is health related. Your family, what your family is like, and if they have any health issues, if you have older relatives. I know there's a lot of reasons to still be on high alert when it comes to catching any kind of illness, and specifically COVID. But I just don't hear healthy people that are like younger or middle-aged talking about COVID the way we used to in 2020. So I was very surprised to hear him even bring it up. And it looks from Christine's facial expression, she was surprised as well. And she says to him, "You've all had it." And he says, "Well, Aurora hasn't." Aurora is in her 20s, right? Like, she's someone who's probably, I'm assuming, leaving her home and going to work and going to college classes. Is she really wearing a mask all the time? I would love to hear from someone who knows her and is like, yeah, I work with her. Yeah, I go to school with her. Is she really doing all the stuff that Kody says? And is Kody doing all the stuff that he requires of everyone else? Because I don't believe he is. We saw him go to a wedding during the last season, or was that 2 seasons ago? Man, I'm getting my seasons all mixed up. We saw him go to a wedding, though, during COVID. Did he go in quarantine before he went home? Did he go stay at a hotel until he got a test back? Are the tests at the pharmacy good enough? Can Christine just run in and buy a $14 test and have Truly take it? Does Truly want to take the test? I have like a million questions. If you have any way of making what's happening make sense, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I feel like testing for COVID in that way is something that was just done so long ago. And, specifically, again, for a family where everyone's had it or healthy, why doesn't Aurora go get the vaccine? If she's so worried about it, why aren't they all vaccinated? I just don't get it. And I'm not trying to bring up anything controversial. I don't actually care how you respond to COVID, but Kody's way of responding actually does not make sense to me. So feel free to let me know in the comments, how does any of it make sense? Is everyone filming the show? Like, are they all vaccinated? Do they all have to take tests before they film? What about the people in the restaurant? Is Kody going to quarantine after he's went and had this food with Christine? I don't really understand what he's doing. The only thing that actually makes any sense to me is that this is an excuse to make life complicated and to punish Christine. And you know what? He's not punishing Christine. Christine's a great mom. He's punishing Truly and himself, because he's missing out on a relationship with his daughter and his other children, because eventually they're just going to be done with it. And I think we already see that, and he doesn't. Kody Brown just doesn't get it. I did not intend to actually talk about that, but when I was pulling a clip in for the beginning of this video, I saw them sitting in the restaurant and I just couldn't help myself. If it makes sense to you, let me know in the comments how it makes sense or what you think is happening, because I would love to hear a different angle on this, or if everyone sees it how I do, just let me know in the comments. But next, what I want to do is actually look at some of the comments that were left on my previous video. When I do these, I always block out people's usernames and their photos, because I don't know if everyone wants their comment just blasted out there onto YouTube. But all of these comments actually came from my own videos. Sometimes I go and find them on Facebook, but I'll always try to let you know where I found the comment from. But these are all from the last video. Here is the first comment I want to talk about. This first comment was directed to me. It says, "At this point, it's safe to admit Robin is very much the mastermind behind how this is unfolding. This does not negate Kody's role. He is just too stupid to realize he's been played, and the consequence of him not taking responsibility is him losing his family. I 100% agree with that comment, and if I made it sound like I didn't feel like Robin was to blame for some of this in the other video, I did not mean to do that. I think Robin played a huge role in how everything unfolded with COVID. I think she has played a role in his relationships with his other kids. We've heard Gwendolyn talk about it on her Patreon channel if you follow over there. And I've talked about it here as well. I've talked about Gwendolyn on that channel, saying that Robin would manipulate things so that her and her children were the victims. Robin was definitely a problem in all of this. But Kody had a responsibility as well. He needed to make sure when Robin came into that family, everything was fair. And everyone was getting the attention and time and money that they needed to be healthy and happy. He needed to make sure his relationships were good. And sometimes I feel like the sister wives community, we place all that on Robin when Kody deserves more of the blame as well. But I agree with that comment. I do think Robin was manipulating things. I think she likes to be the favorite wife, so she was going to make sure everything worked out for her. The next comment just gave me a new name for Kody. It says, it's the parents' responsibility to reach out to their children and clear the air, not the children. Parents should be the leaders and not so immature like Kody locks. You know, Kodys Hair has a life of its own, but I had never heard anyone call him that, so I just found that funny. But yes, I do agree. Kody should be picking up the phone and reaching out to his children all on his own. This comment is a little bit longer and it's about Robin's behavior, but it reminded me of something I had forgotten about. The comment says, I believe Robin puts on an act for the cameras. I think she plays the innocent wife who has no influence on Kody, when in reality, she wants Kody all to herself and manipulates him to do her bidding. We got a little taste of that during COVID when Mary asked to spend time with her and her family after following the rules that Robin and Kody insisted everyone follow. Kody thought it was okay, but Robin said no. Then she later on denied the fact that she had anything to do with the COVID rules and keeping everyone separated. It's clear the family fell apart when she came into the family. I had completely forgotten about that, but when I read the comment, it made me remember Robin did have an excuse for not spending time with Mary, even though Mary had followed all of the rules. And I just hope Mary was able to see through that because it was almost ridiculous. It didn't even sound like a good excuse. And then for Robin to act like she's not behind the rules, you know what? Yeah. I do feel like Robin played a huge role in the COVID rules themselves. I'm going to go as far as saying they seem very anti-Kody. If I had to guess how Kody was going to act before COVID, if someone said this is going to happen, how do you think Kody Brown would act? I would not expect him to have acted this way. He comes off as one of those people that will want to defy all of the rules. So it's surprising that he has sort of doubled down on them and has ruined his family with them. So I definitely agree with the idea that Robin is the one behind this. And Peyton Brown has talked about this. Peyton has talked about how this just does not even seem like something his father would do. So I agree with all of you about these being Robin's rules. I just think Kody needed to say no at some point. It doesn't work for the family, or say I need to go spend time with my other kids. But I do think Robin sort of fakes it for the camera and pretends. Janelle has talked about that. You know, why does Robin pretend? She does this a lot. She acts like she doesn't know what's going on. So Janelle has talked about her pretending she doesn't know what's going on. Peyton has talked about it. Gwen has talked about her being manipulative. Viewers can see it, but Kody Brown cannot actually see it for himself. This next comment is short and to the point. I think what the person is trying to say is it seems they're stretching for content the past several years. I think this person is feeling how I felt during this last episode. You know, that lunch with Kody and Christine could have either been saved for the next episode or all shown in this episode. I was surprised we didn't see more of it. I felt like they really held out and didn't give us very much of that, and now they're pulling it into a second episode. Guys, this lunch probably was less than an hour, and they're going to pull it out and make us watch it for 2 episodes. So I kind of agree with what this comment says. It feels like they're stretching things, and I'm going to I'm going to guess it's anything that has to do with Kody and Christine. I think we'll see things move faster with everyone else. I'm guessing there's just not a lot of content to show of the two of them together. I found this next comment to be funny. The comment reads, "They say there is someone for everyone, so how did he end up with 4? From season 1, I thought he was such a goober, and even though I still think he is, he's so angry that it's a bit scary. As soon as he started messing with his hairstyle, I knew he was getting into himself way too much." Again, Kody's hair has a life of its own. I just found that comment funny. Yes, he did start doing a lot with his hair. This next comment brought up some really good points about Kody and his children. The comment says, "The fact that Kody cannot get along with his adult children and only likes them when they are younger shows that he doesn't want to be challenged because he has no logical response for his actions. The young ones don't know any better." Kody has definitely made it clear that he makes the children of a tender age the priority in his life, and I think there's some truth to that. I think when they're little, they're easier to raise as far as not having people argue with you. When children start having minds of their own and start being able to see things for what they really are, it gets a little bit more complicated, particularly in a family where there are 4 wives and things might not be very fair. So I'm sure for Kody, he prefers being a dad to little children as opposed to adults and teenagers. And that's a shame because they all become adults. And it's also something that Janelle has pointed out. She says that Kody used to be a really engaged dad. I think she's talking about when the kids are young, because when they get older, he seems to just check out. This next comment is a little bit longer and does bring up an issue with Robyn and her children. The comment says, "Robyn actually expected Janelle to spend Thanksgiving with her and Kody and their kids and Mary instead of her own kids. Really? Then Robyn tells her kids that Janelle and her kids don't want to be around them when it was Kody who didn't want his sons with Janelle in his house for Thanksgiving. Robyn lied to her kids about the reason Janelle wasn't coming over for Thanksgiving. She did a terrible thing to her children by lying to them about the reason Janelle wasn't coming over for Thanksgiving. It was because Kody didn't want his own sons in his house. Kody's a terrible father. Robyn's a terrible person. Of course, Janelle would rather spend Thanksgiving with her own kids instead of Robyn and her kids. What mother wouldn't choose her own kids?" It's possible that person typed that when they were angry. At least that's how I feel. When I'm annoyed with something Kody does on the show and I'm like yelling at the TV. Yeah, that sounds like how I am when I'm yelling at the TV. But what was interesting in that comment was Robyn and her kids. What does Robyn's kids know about this? How isolated are they in that house? How often are they getting out? Do they ever watch the show? Have they thought about their siblings and how often their siblings are seeing their father? I just wonder what Robyn's kids know about the whole situation. Her kids are adults. Some of them are. They're old enough to know what's going on. You think they would have conversations with their brothers and sisters. Hey, what's our other mom doing? And I don't know, they'd have some relationship with them, but it doesn't seem like they do. What do you guys think Robyn's kids think about everything that's going on? This next comment really stood out because it differs from what a lot of us think. So I want to be clear that I am reading a comment. This is not necessarily my opinion, but I did want to highlight it because it stood out because it's very different from what I read in my comments normally. So this is what it says. "Where's the dog? Where's the cat they had? So many concerned Robyn kicked the dog. Doesn't anyone wonder where that dog is today? I'm an animal lover. Did Christine just dump them when she moved? I am not all in for Christine. They had money enough to build large homes, yet no health insurance on kids. She, as the others did, took welfare benefits. They were working, receiving TV money, yet when the daughter needed back surgery, which was certainly no surprise, she went on the internet and created a GoFundMe account. No excuse. That child should have had health insurance. It sickens me how everyone applauded Christine for getting out. It took 10 years to see that your spouse is treating you like dirt. Sorry, not all giddy about Christine." I cannot justify away everything that this family has done. So don't think for a second there's one wife that I think is the perfect wife. There are things this family has done that I don't think any of them should have done. including really just a commitment to this lifestyle. But I do understand how they were raised and how Christine was raised. This was normal. But I don't think all of their actions and all of the things they have done have been good choices, including the health insurance situation. I agree. They all knew Isabel was going to need that surgery. And I do have something to say. I think I might have called her Gwen earlier in the video when I was talking about the surgery. Isabel. They all knew Isabel was going to need that surgery. They knew it. I think Kody was hoping she would make it to 18 and it would be off of, it wouldn't be his money on it. I think he was hoping she would have to do it herself instead of him handling it. And then Christine wasn't going to let that happen. She wanted to do the right thing for her kids. But I think that was a defining moment for Christine. I think loading your family up, quarantining in a house, getting your kids surgery, helping them recover, and doing it when your husband just decides to check out, and that's really what it was. He made a decision not to be there for his daughter. And she did it alone, and that was a life-changing moment for her. I think in that moment she was like, I'm done. I did this alone. I'm not a priority, and I'm moving on. I wish it would have been earlier. I wish it would have been earlier for all of them. Quite frankly, I've said this many times when I talk about this channel. Part of why I was so into it these last few seasons is I wanted Mary to go. Like, go, Mary. Get out of here. Like, you're not wanted here. Why are you sticking around? He's not even pretending. So, I think they should have left a long time ago. But they're doing it now, and I'm sure they had all kinds of reasons for sticking around the way they did. I can see why the person who wrote this may feel the way they do. I have no idea about the pets. I'm going to stay out of the pet thing. I don't know where people's animals are. I don't really follow along with the pet storyline. So whatever. If you guys have any comments about that or some response to that, you can definitely leave that in the comments. I don't know a lot about the pet situation. If your comment ended up in my video today, thank you very much for commenting here on my channel. If you have something you want to say, feel free to comment below. It's my favorite part of this is I'm yelling at my TV, making these videos, talking about things, and then I get to hear everyone's opinion. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But the main thing is in the comment section that we keep it friendly. I know it can get a bit frustrating because we have all kinds of feelings about this family, but we still want to be friends. Don't let Kody Brown divide us, guys. So keep it nice in the comment section. If you haven't already, click like and subscribe. And I hope you come back. Next Monday, there will be another video about the newest episode of Sister Wives.